everyone, you're welcome to Issues in Society podcast. I am your favorite host, Ipemida Priscilla. Thank you guys for your views, your comments, your likes last year, for going through all our social media platforms, X, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Thank you guys so much for the share. I appreciate. And thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel. I appreciate. And if you haven't done that, please go quickly and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's go straight to the point. Today, I have a public speaker analyst in person of Mr. Isah Emmanuel. Let me welcome Mr. Isah Emmanuel.
Thank you.
You're welcome to Issues in Society podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
You look good, I must say.
Thank you.
Will you want to do a normal introduction or
okay.
the one I did is fine?
Yeah, my name is Honorable Isah. I'm a public affairs analyst, public speaker, and a good governance advocate. And by way of a profession, I'm also a management consultant. So
Okay.
we just do what we have to do.
As a public speaker analyst, I have a quick question for
Yes.
you. So if you look our current government, Seyi Tinubu, that's the son of the president, has been all over the country, one way or the other, and he doesn't have an appointment in the government. So why do you feel? Do you think it's really necessary to be all over? Why there's no even you are just the president's son? Like there's no other title attached to your name. You are just the president's son.
Okay, I want to say something. When I hear people call out Seyi Tinubu, he does not have appointment, he is everywhere and all those things. But we need to look at it from history, historical. You know, before you discuss perspective, you look at history. Before the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where was Seyi Tinubu? That is the question people will ask. There is no state, there is no corner, there is no village, there is no community that Seyi Tinubu had not visited, galvanizing support for his father. And we are saying his father, we are not saying his political party member. His father, his contribution led to the emergence of his father at the APC presidential primary this thing. As an analyst, I'm also a media researcher, so I follow up happenings in Nigeria, both political divide and this thing. So I happen to know by way of information.
From what you've said,
yes,
it was alleged that he uses public funds, that's the government funds, to run every of his activities. Since he's not an appointee, how does he have access to the public funds or the government funds?
The moment your father, and it's not only Seyi Tinubu,
okay,
and it's not going to stop with him.
Okay.
The moment your father become the president of Nigeria, you have become the son of the president. So you are not going to be treated differently. That you are the son of the president and you don't have appointment. Okay, so when you are moving from point A to B, go and use your own vehicle. You understand? Don't forget that being the son or a family member of the president, you are subject to attack.
Yes.
You know that. Anybody that want to get the president, if they cannot get him, they get the son, they have gotten him. Right? So therefore, security will be provided. So government facility where the president has moved in, that is why you see that the president will move in with his family, including the son, into the presidential villa. So when the son of the president is going out, he won't go and be carrying Uber because he is not a government official.
Okay, sir, but sir, I wasn't talking about the properties. What I mean was
I'm building the foundation that leads to either the fund. Because, for instance, like I said, if the son of the president is moving from Abuja, for instance, to Lagos, you won't expect that the son of the president is now going to start queuing at airpiece line and enter this thing, because it's the same way that the son of the president, when he's moving from maybe from presidential villa, let's say to Wuse 2, and you expect him to go and be carrying Uber or driving any of the distance. So now there's no difference between him traveling and they use government facility to convey him. Right? Because he is the son of the president.
So are you saying because he's the son of the president, he has access to vandalize the government funds?
No, but you are saying, no. There's difference between what the provision that is meant for the office of the president that is taken care of than anyhow use of the fund of the Nigerian people, right?
He uses it for his own personal, because he's not an appointee. He doesn't have a job connected to the government.
So the question is, at what point do you define his movement as his personal movement? Okay, for instance, Seyi Tinubu left Abuja for Kano on a case study recently on a visit, mobilizing youth, speaking with the youth. And don't forget, he tagged it the northern visit from Abuja to Kaduna, from Kaduna to Kano, from Kano to Yobe, from Yobe to Sokoto and Borno State. Now, and you know, this is the hotbed of insecurity, right? And if you do statistic from research available data, the number of people that engage in the act of banditry and how do they call it, the terrorism, are young people. So Seyi Tinubu, as a young person, moving from this state, visiting, interacting with youth and speaking to them that yes, what the government is doing, what my father is doing. You remember there was a headline that came out recently saying that my father is one of the best presidents. And he didn't just make that statement in an open this thing. He made the statement with empirical evidence. This is what my father as a president is doing. Yes, it might be painful, but it has a vision, an end point. And by the time that end point comes, everybody is going to be happy. And he is speaking, inspiring hope in the young people not to give up on the policies and program of government. So now this is a man that believed in the effort of his father, and he believed that, okay, I can contribute also by speaking, using the non-governmental aspect of me to speak to, because before the election, he spoke to the youth. And youth came out massively to vote for his father. And it will be an irony. I mean, what is the right English? When the English come, I'm going to use it. That, okay, you came out, told the youth, vote for this man. And he is going to make Nigeria better. And now the youth voted and the man has emerged and he will disappear into the thin air. So it is the right thing that he also come out and speak to the young people about what the father is doing. So, and if he is going on that journey and the presidential jet carries him from point A to B, I don't see that as waste of government fund. It's when he's, maybe he's going to party in London for his personal birthday and they are now using private jet to convey all his friends and acquaintances and to go and lavish money. Then you can say, okay, he's wasting money and squandering government money. But when he's moving from within Nigerian state, engaging with young people, engaging with the indigent people and saying, yes, we feel your post, my father is the president, this is what he is doing, then I can say every reasonable son should learn from him.
Okay, sir, from what you said, I would want to ask you a question. Who has access to the government funds? I don't mean properties. I mean funds like cash, money. Who has access to the government fund in the Federal Republic of Nigeria? Is it the president and his family, then the appointees of the government? That is what I want to know.
No, the money of Nigeria belongs to the government of Nigeria to manage, right?
Yes.
So whoever is the president, through processes. There is not that when you come to Villa, there is one room where money is touched. No. There is process, there is budget, and there is budget for the office of the president. And who even told you that the money Seyi Tinubu is using is from government purse?
Okay, so you are saying
has there been
it's from his
investigation?
personal...
No,
I said,
see,
while I was speaking, I said it was alleged.
so
Okay, so you are saying from your... I'm trying to get it from your own point of view. That's why I'm
yes,
asking questions.
yes,
So
yes.
are you saying that he's using his personal funds to run all this?
Is at what point is there any allegation that money that is meant for development or projects in Nigeria has been stolen or has been diverted? Then we can now say, okay, oh, the money is traceable to him. But I have not seen any. EFCC, ICPC, Code of Conduct has not come out to say, okay, money that is meant for this is missing. So we cannot come and join when people speak openly or vaguely that he is squandering government money because, and you said you are not talking about property, because what people see and say government money is being spent, and when you ask, what do you mean and how do you mean, they will not say a private government aeroplane airline is used to moving from Abuja to Kano. Oh, okay, the DSS are attached to him and they are supposed to be doing security. So because I can't believe that, okay, money that is meant for the construction of let's say Lokoja Abuja Lokoja Road has been diverted and is found in Seyi Tinubu's hand. There's nothing like that, because the government is running an effective this thing process, budgeting, and money is being disbursed for the project that is meant for. So how is he going to collect money? So now the question is what he is doing. How has he been able to raise money? Don't forget that Seyi Tinubu did not come into villa with his father, even as a poor person.
Yes.
He is one of the young entrepreneurs in Nigeria. I am not holding brief for him. I am not his fan. Yes, I know information. He is the CEO of one of the largest advertising company in West Africa.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He is, from what I know about him that is in the open air, he is one of the business person that have been involved and is executive directors in so many companies across Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. So that kind of person, when he brings out money to do something, you can't just say because his father is the president, he is stealing government money to use or he's squandering government money. That is just and thank God you call it an allegation, and that allegation, if it cannot be proven, it should be thrown into the dustbin and put behind us.
Okay, thank you. So if you look down the list of the past presidents we've had, I think Seyi Tinubu is the first
visible son of the president
that is being visible to Nigerians.
Yes.
And a lot of persons have alleged again that probably he has eyes on the seats of the government of the seat of the state government of Lagos. What would you say about that?
You see, everybody that is doing something in Nigeria has been accused at one point or the other. I myself, I sat down and I thought that, okay, at one point or the other, by the help of God, I've been able to have access to fund as a result of my labor. I worked and God blessed my work with money. Okay, this money, let me do something for people. And when I do something for people, I've been accused of having a political ambition because I come out to do something for people. So it has been normal with that. So we have seen it severally. When somebody come to do something for the public and then I say, this guy is interested. So what he's doing, and by the way, is Seyi Tinubu qualified to be a governor? Yes, by his age and the constitution of Nigeria, by his academic qualification, he is even far qualified because the constitution of Nigeria said you must have at least a secondary school certificate. And from the information available to me, he is a lawyer. He went to school and he has a degree in business administration. He has a degree in law and he is called to Nigerian bar. So he is qualified to become a governor, and he's from Lagos State. So if he and every human being has the tendency to aspire for any political office in Nigeria, as far as you are mentally sound, physically sound, and he has all those things. So if he aspire, what is wrong with that?
But okay, it has also been alleged that all this visitation he's doing, he's not doing it for the masses' sake, So, I told you that it was alleged that he used the government, presidential funds or presidential support. So, will it be nice if he's using his own presidential support, that's from his dad, for his own personal reason, just because he has an eye on the Lagos State government?
My happiness is the fact that you said it's an alleged.
Yes.
So alleged is alleged until it's proven beyond reasonable doubt. So it's an allegation. So I will not sit down here and talk about allegation that somebody is alleging. And like I said earlier, anybody that do something is always being accused of.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So I am saying that, okay, for instance, you say all these visits in recent time, immediately after the election, and in recent time, most of his visit is towards the north. Is Lagos State in the north?
I'm coming to that.
Now, okay, so if you are now saying he is doing all these things because he wants to become Lagos State governor, so all his visits and activities would have been Lagos Island, Lagos, Victoria Island, Ikorodu, and all those things. But if his activities are not in Lagos, for the love of Christ, why won't they leave the young man to do what he is doing? And let me say something before you come in. You see, this is one thing with Nigeria.
Okay.
And I encourage people. I have had my fair share, like I said earlier, of being accused. And it will not stop me from coming out. And it's something that we must know. That the society, the member of the society also have a right. The moment you make yourself public, the public are going to come after you.
Yes.
So you have no right to question them. Why are you coming after me? Why are you challenging me?
Moreover, he's the president's son. So
the fact that he is even the son of the president, and he's one, because okay, we have had President Obasanjo, and Obasanjo have children. One of his son is my friend Olujuwon Obasanjo. We've not seen him. We don't even know if he existed when his father was president. We now have Yaradua. Yaradua have sons and daughters. Nobody have ever seen the sons of Yaradua. Then came President Jonathan. President Jonathan was there for almost 6 to 7 years. Nobody knows if he has children, right? Then President Buhari came. The best we saw with his son Yusuf Buhari was, okay, maybe he had an accident, he lived this thing, expensive bike and all those things that Nigeria cry foul. Then came somebody who, not when the father became president, even before the father became president, he was virtually at every corner speaking to young people. He galvanized people. Do you know how many young people I have? Like I said, I am not a spokesperson for Seyi Tinubu.
Okay.
You understand? But you see, it pains me. I've had opportunity to speak on TV on this issue also recently. When somebody come out and Nigerians will now come after him because he is doing what of other sons of president that were partying up and down? Okay, I'm not calling him out for just calling the Yusuf Buhari that was known for riding power bike of about 50 million, just power bike of about 100 million and having accident. He was just enjoying himself. But this young man is out before election, galvanizing young people, empowering them, and the father became president. He did not just stop. He is going out, reaching out to young people. Do you know how many young people that have become either minister, DG, head of agency as a result of Seyi Tinubu bringing them on board and bringing out their potentials in leadership? And today they are doing well.
Okay, from what you've said, since he has the interest of the youth at heart, he has the interest of the people at heart, why doesn't he have a position? Because from everything you've explained, I feel he's a very nice leader to be in position in the government. So why doesn't he have a position? Probably to use that position to help the young ones, the youth.
Okay, now you see, we are talking about Nigeria here.
Yes.
It's not in the constitution that the family of the president.
No, I am just saying.
I'm coming. Okay. I'm coming. By the time I finish my line of thought, you will understand where I'm going. In Nigeria, is not in the constitution that the family of any elected person should not be appointed. But by way of gentleman way of life, historically, no member of a family of a president or governor has been appointed before. Because Nigeria that we know, they are going to cry foul of nepotism and all those things. He is the president, he is appointing his son and or his daughter into an appointing position. Are they the only one in Nigeria and all those things? So you expect that outcry. So therefore, but you see, in other countries, even within African country here, we have seen where president, the Equatorial Guinea, the president, what is his name, appointed his daughter as the attorney general of the state, of the country. But in Nigeria, it has not been done. And I know the moment anything like that comes, there's going to be an outcry in Nigeria. President Donald Trump appointed his daughter, I think Ivanka Trump, as a special advisor. And America did not stop existing. But I know in Nigeria, if Seyi Tinubu is even given a title as PA, domestic, the day that title come out, Nigeria is going to cry foul, and that you now begin to see NGOs and all these things saying they are going to sue the president. But then, that is why I can guarantee you, that is why none of the president's children has been appointed.
So
but that does not stop them from doing what they are doing. And from even what I know, I took a detailed look at Seyi Tinubu. And like I said, even before election, Seyi Tinubu has a foundation called Noella Foundation. And what he is doing, even before the father became president,
that is what he's still doing.
And that is what he's doing. He's been known for empowering young people using the Noella Foundation.
Okay, but from the video we saw in Kestina, he was sharing a nylon
pack
of
food.
Like just in nylon. So people have a lot of the masses have this strange thought about it. That how can a president's son, if you want to do an empowerment or you want to help people, why will you just share a nylon of rice?
You see, you cannot satisfy, especially Nigeria. All of us, we are Nigeria, we know ourselves. You can't satisfy. Okay, the little one he is doing, they are calling him out that he is wasting government money. You can imagine that he started doing big one, then I say, our money has finished. So do you even know where he sourced the money from? And those pack, you see, there is a carton of food that is being distributed. Also, you see Noella Foundation. So somebody who is using a private entity to do his program, as he is not member of any government elected or appointed. He is doing, the only thing is that he is the son of the president.
Okay, so you would say the president is not funding his own foundation, or is not a partner in his own foundation? The president
is not bound to fund any foundation. It will be criminal for a president to take government money and fund a private entity.
So you are telling me for a sure, like you are 100% sure?
I am not in the cabinet of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I am not in the cabinet of, I'm not a staff of Seyi Tinubu Noella Foundation. But from what I know, as a good governance advocate, as a researcher, I am not an armchair researcher. I go to the field, I speak to people, I investigate. Right? So when I am speaking, I speak with fact and figure. It might not go down well with some people. I know by the time this come on air, some people are going to want to chop off my head. But you see, we need to understand that there are process of spending money in government. There's no money that they say, okay, when you go to villa, there's a box or there is a room that money is stashed. When the president wants to go out, you just go and carry one and put in his pocket.
So there's no way the president can just bring out
money and say, oh, my son, go and do what? No, it's not done. And I don't believe that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can be that reckless and start giving out money. There must be process before government money is spent. And that is why we have security agency in terms of anti money laundering. We have EFCC, we have ICPC, we have CCB, and even DSS, police. We have NFIU that monitor government spending. If government spend money that is not budgeted for, or you spend 1 naira on what was not budgeted for, or you spend the 1 naira that is budgeted for buying bread, let's say a loaf of bread, 10 naira, and you take the 10 naira from buying loaf of bread to buy biscuit, is called misappropriation. Yes. Without environment or without a supplementary budget. So you see that even the president cannot just wake up and spend money without following due process, and these due process are documented, so that if the money is meant for construction of road and it gets to another pocket for another thing, EFCC will come after the person. So that is what we are saying.
Okay, moving from this topic to another question.
Before we move to that, I will also encourage, because Seyi Tinubu is the son of the president, okay, and he's doing his activities, I think it's high time, though he is a Nigerian citizen, he does not owe anybody explanation to what he is doing. Yes. But the fact that the father is belongs to the public, yes, Nigerian citizen today, yes, so the public Nigerian people, he owes them that explanation. Yes. So to say, okay, this is what I am doing. I am doing independent of government fund. My only sin is that I am the son of the president and I am living with my father in the villa. You understand? That is the only thing. But this is how I am using my money. Everybody knows that he was not a poor person, and he is not poor person now. So he can afford to do what he's doing. And what he's doing, is it for personal gain? Is he entering his pocket? No, it's evident to show. Just recently, I was seeing on social media how a trailer load of food was vandalized by what people, media people, I think it was Daily Trust, tagged angry youth. Vandalized Seyi Tinubu's this I was not saying, no, is it angry youth or hungry youth? Because you can only be angry at somebody who offend you. Is that not so? A truck of food is moving on the road, maybe because you have information that it belongs to this person, and the fact that the person is the son of the president, you pounce on the item and you vandalize it.
From what you said, I would want to chip in something.
Yes, please.
Nigerians are angry.
Angry at who?
At the president.
Nigerians have always been angry.
Nigerians are angry at the president because the economy of this country is becoming worse day by day.
Yes.
So you don't expect someone or somebody who hasn't even eaten to be happy when they see something like that. Definitely they'll be angry because these people are hungry. They don't even have anything to eat.
Do you know that recently, in the same note, okay, the vehicle conveying Dangote's spaghetti and other this thing was impounded. I mean, it was vandalized and all food carted away.
Because people are hungry.
I'm coming. You see, that people are hungry does not mean somebody will not go about doing his business.
Definitely.
Right?
Yes.
So, and historically, government come, government go.
Yes, sure.
With their policies, it has always affected a citizen, either good or bad, right? And people has always been angry. In America, people are angry today. But in the same America, there are people that are hailing the government to high heaven. But so, are you seeing American people going on the street, vandalizing, for instance, the vehicle of Elon Musk? Are you seeing people destroying Microsoft property because they are angry at the policy of Donald Trump? And the policy of Donald Trump is even taking a dimension that it has not been, the same way other previous American president has been doing, right? So, but do you see people destroying private property because they are angry at the policy of government? When you are angry, you speak. When you are angry, you address the government, and people have been speaking to government. I myself have had opportunity of being on radio, like I am in your studio today. There's no 1 week that passed that I'm not on either one radio station or one television station speaking about the policy of government. Where government is doing well, we acknowledge. Where government is doing bad, we call them out and say, government, you are not doing well in this social policy that you have brought.
Okay, we'll still come back to that.
Yes.
But let's talk about the vice president now. Since the 2023 election, the vice president has been so cold. He has not been, I've forgotten the last time I saw him on the internet or on the news. What is happening? It's just the president and his son that we are seeing all over the internet. And it's becoming as if the Federal Republic of Nigeria is now a family business.
Are you speaking as a journalist, or you are speaking as a Nigerian?
I'm speaking the mind of the masses.
You are speaking the mind of the masses.
Yes.
Because one, I don't work in the office of the vice president,
okay,
and I don't work in the office of the president and
but
his
so
son.
You don't
but
have
as a Nigerian, I will say something
okay
to us. We must not forget something very fast.
Okay.
In any organization, there is the head, right? And there's somebody who is brought as an assistant.
Okay.
What is the role of the assistant?
To help, to assist.
To help and to assist in any assignment that the head allocated to him, true or false, to him or her.
True.
So now in this case, we have the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
okay,
and we have the vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
And in state, we have governor and we have deputy governor. Yes. Before I go and expand what I am going to say, I spoke to a group of people, okay, of my friend. I am a politically active person. I am not a hidden person when it comes to politics, right? And I spoke to somebody. I say, even at my level that I am now, that I am not even that well known everywhere. If you call me today to come and be the deputy governor of a state, I will tell you, thank you, sir, I'm not.
Why? Why would you say that?
You know why? A deputy governor is a spare tire.
So you're saying he's just there.
Let me tell you, the deputy governor is even worse at state. A deputy governor is a spare tire. You need to see some deputy governors, some commissioners are far better than deputy governor. You understand? Okay. I rather you even make me a chief of staff than make me a deputy governor, because I will be more relevant, more useful as chief of staff or commissioner or SSG than to become deputy governor. Now, having said that, because there are role that is ascribed to vice president.
Okay.
His role principally is to assist the president. Where the president say, do this for me, he do. Where the constitution say, okay, this is your role. For instance, he's the chairman of economic council. So economic council is when there's time they meet, discuss the economic this thing, advise the government. The vice president is the chairman. The vice president also is chairman of some governing board like NEMA, Boundary Commission, and all those things. He's the president, and the DGs and those agencies are to report to him. All those things are not on the news, and he has been doing that work.
But right? If he is the chairman of this economic council,
yes,
and people are crying, why is he not saying anything?
No, wait.
Okay.
Economic council comprises of the 36 state governors,
okay,
some ministers,
okay,
right, and some private sectors and this thing. They come to take decision on economics and then advise the president.
On what to do?
On their advice. Take that word advice. Then
not to tell them
not to tell the president what to do. Then the president come up with his own policy, right? Sometimes he may seek advice from the economic council where the state government come together. So president come up with their own policy. Then he will now allocate vice president, take this responsibility and do.
Okay,
right?
So you're saying
now I am saying that where the role of vice president is, I have never seen the president playing that role. Neither have I seen the son of the president, like you said, playing the role. I'm not seeing the son of the president as the chairman governing council of NEMA, National Boundary Commission, and some. The last time that National Economic Council sat with the 36 state governor, ministers of finance, budget and economic planning, and all those things, I didn't see the son of the president chairing that meeting. it was Senator Kashim Shettima, His Excellency, the Vice President, that I saw sharing that. So saying that the Vice President is now it now comes to political engagement, influence, and power. But you see, why people are crying foul that, oh, Vice President, his office is cold and nothing is happening. You must also not forget that anybody that attempts to do beyond his master, his boss, is seen as overambitious.
Okay,
and you know what? So the Vice President knows his role.
Okay.
And he's a very loyal and disciplined person.
So you're saying he's being cold just because he wasn't
are calling
assigned.
it cold.
Okay.
You are calling it cold, or people who does not understand the role of Vice President are calling it cold. You can't expect the Vice President to be everywhere while his president is there. His commander-in-chief is there.
Okay, so he's been like this because, let me not use the let me not use the word code anymore. He's been like this because the president hasn't assigned anything for him to do. Is that what you're saying?
You see, I've seen Vice President going to Davos recently during the economic, they're calling in Davos.
Okay.
I've seen Vice President in South Africa. I've seen Vice President in USA representing the president. I've seen Vice President in France representing the Vice President. The president.
Okay.
Just in recent time, right? I've seen Vice President having meeting with what they call it, Microsoft. And their program. I've seen Vice President inaugurate the National Nigerian Youth Academy, NIA, just about 3 days ago, where it's an academy from the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Youth Development. The Vice President was the one that inaugurated that this thing. It's the role of the president to inaugurate it, and it has been allocated to Vice President. And he did that. Vice President met with some investors that came, I think, in an ICT and space development agency. And like I tell you, I follow back-to-back activities of government. You understand?
Yes.
So I know almost everything that happened. So, and I've seen Vice President being active. Now, where people are saying that, oh, Vice President is cold, Vice President is this, is because, okay, maybe they are not seeing him in the political this. And the Vice President that I know, Kashim Shettima that I know, is one of the person that is a loyal person. He worked with, what is his name? The former governor of Borno State. And he was loyal. And it was that loyalty that made him to become governor. He worked at Zenith Bank until he became an executive director. So he is not an overambitious person that want to be seen doing or hungry to do the work of the president. Your commander-in-chief is on seat. You have to be loyal and you have to follow through. If they tell you stand, you stand. That shows your loyalty. If they tell you move, you move. That is loyalty. So Kashim Shettima that I know as Isah that I know is a loyal person to the president. Don't forget the circumstances that surround his emergence as the vice president. If you recall politically, let me take you down memory lane.
Yes.
When people were gathered during one of the salah, I think it was a small salah or big salah in Daura, governors, 36 state governors were gathered there and some big political guys waiting for the then candidate of APC to announce his, or to deliberate who is going to be the vice presidential running mate. And there was this division that it must be a Christian person from the north. And there were names were up and thrown in the air, even among the governors. Some governors were positioning themselves that, oh, they are going to lobbying, and horse trading was ongoing. And by the time the presidential candidate arrived, before they enter inside the meeting to meet with the president, the then President Muhammadu Buhari, to discuss, okay, who is going to be your running mate? He said he has something to tell them. And he said after consulting and all those things, he has decided to choose his long-standing friend, somebody who had believed and he knew that he's a very loyal, committed, and somebody who is not going to give him trouble and give his government trouble. And that he has decided to nominate Senator Kashim Shettima as his running mate, vice presidential candidate. And there was argument up and down. Some people in surprise, some people were shocked, some people were confused because he never consulted any of the governors. He never even leaked out. So now, as a candidate, he knew the kind of people he was going to appoint as nominate as his
Excellency
I'm talking about President Bola Tinubu.
Okay.
He knew the kind of person that would want to work with him, somebody that will not give him headache as a vice president. So he went for Kashim Shettima, and Kashim Shettima is living to that expectation of the president.
Okay, so but
today.
We've had other vice presidents that have been active, like the masses said, though. Now I told you earlier, I'm speaking for the masses. We've had other vice presidents that,
namely,
that have been very
Atiku Abubakar.
I don't want to.
No, you see,
that have been very active. So are you saying that they were too ambitious?
Nigerians are good at, and it's not, when we even say Nigerians, it's not everybody.
Okay.
Because people like us that have history, people like us that have been engaged in political process and governance process, we know how it was in Nigeria historically, right? I will give you example. One of the vice presidents that wanted to be overly active, till today he has been running from pillar to post to become president. I'm not sure he is going to, I'm very sorry to his supporter, I'm not sure he's going to be president again in Nigeria because of the damaging statement made by his commander-in-chief. President Olusegun Obasanjo talked about Atiku Abubakar to be overly ambitious, that he can do anything for power at his own at the expense of any other person around him, right?
Yes.
Okay, then let's come to Yaradua and Jonathan.
Okay.
Jonathan was loyal. People cried to the extent even when Yaradua was in the hospital in Saudi Arabia, they didn't even hand over power to him as acting president. Nigeria cried up and down, including my very self. We were on TV and radio crying, shouting until former Senator David Mark, as a Senate president, came up with Ekweremadu was deputy Senate president that time, when they came up with the doctrine of necessity to now make Jonathan an acting president. And when eventually God called late President Yaradua, and Jonathan now became the president. So you see that historically it has always been so. Then came President, even Jonathan and Namadi Sambo. It was people, the same Nigerians, because you don't know the workings. Go take your time and look at the constitution of Nigeria and the other electoral book that specify the role of the president and the vice president, right, and ministers. Then you now check the activities, then the political activity, the political aspect of it, right? So then Jonathan and Namadi Sambo, Nigerian cried out, he was not giving him this, he was not giving him this. Namadi Sambo came out and said, no, I am committed, because I knew how Namadi Sambo was governor of Kaduna State. They led a delegation to come and visit President Jonathan, right, to congratulate him. And then as a PDP, this thing, okay, hence Yaradua was from Northwest. So now that you have become president, we are lobbying that somebody from Northwest will continue as vice president.
Yes.
And they were putting up names, including former governor of Kaduna State, McCarthy. And when all said were and done, Jonathan now said, you that is speaking for people, it's you that I want as my vice president. That I've consulted, I know that you are a peaceful person, you are not a troublesome person. I don't want anybody to give me trouble the same way I did not give Yaradua trouble. And Namadi Sambo worked with Jonathan till the end of their administration. Now come Professor Yemi Osibanjo and President Buhari.
Yes.
Nigerians cried out also that Osibanjo has been, in fact, Osibanjo has even been acting president.
Well, Osibanjo was active.
Acting.
He was, as a vice, he was very active throughout his.
When we say active, don't forget also
okay,
that they have been cried in Nigeria that Osibanjo was sidelined. Did you, if you remember, you are a journalist, I'm sure this information should be at your finger of your tip as I'm bringing this information and name. Osibanjo was called all manners of name. Buhari was called all manners of name that Abba Kyari and all those things were acting as vice president. But you are here also now saying he was acting.
He was acting from what I have seen.
From what you have seen.
And if you go on social media and you take survey of the most active vice president, I think Osibanjo will win. From my own perspective.
And I can tell you also, if you do your research, even the same social media, just do a simple survey. And I can guarantee you, people that cry foul that Osibanjo was sidelined. At a point, they say they don't even know his whereabouts.
Yeah.
You understand? So, he said it's because people don't know the workings of president and vice president. Now, activeness, according to the people, is that, okay, the vice president is have decision in who become this. The vice president is here, is talking here, is doing this. If you have your commander-in-chief speaking here and there, why should vice president be talking? That means you are saying there is two captains in a ship, and it's not possible. There have never been a place where two captains will be in one ship. One person must be part-time. You understand? So we are encouraging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency, to also consider the unwritten part of the book.
Yes.
You understand? You appointed this person. So at least
make use of him.
We can't say he's not making use of him. Okay. I am speaking. I'm not one of the people that speak without with fear or this thing. Where it is necessary, give him the opportunity to showcase his leadership potentials. Where it is necessary. You must not be everywhere. The president must not be everywhere. You have a lot of work, and that is why you have vice president who is to what? Assist. So allocate roles where it is necessary. Where it is not necessary, because there is even a situation now where they allocate more work to him. They'll now say, the president is weak, he cannot take decision. In the case of Buhari and Idiagbo, if you know that Idiagbo as the what we call vice president, in the military, this thing is the chief of this thing. The president is commander-in-chief. Idiagbo was more like a chief of military council. I don't know how they target that time. So you now see that most of the work was done by Idiagbo. You understand? So people now tag Buhari as a weak leader. Even among the military ruling council, it was one of the things that make Babangida to overthrow Buhari, saying he's a weak leader, he's vice president that is running the show and all those things. Read the Babangida's book that is My Service.
Okay.
In My Service, I think the title is My Service and all those things. Read it and you will see what he said. One of the reasons why that the military rank and file propel him and compel him to take over from Buhari, that Buhari was seen as weak. Because of what? He gives more opportunity to his running mate and to his vice. And it's one of those things that make the people that were with him that time to say, no, Your Excellency, we must not give opportunity to the vice president too much, so that you will not be seen as being weak. Go and check historically. He is there out there.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So recently I heard, it was alleged also, that a building was meant for the vice president, but he has rejected it because he feels, or he knows, that there is a telecommunication machine installed in the building, that whatever is being discussed in the building will be heard outside.
Okay, well, this information is very critical, and like we said, is an alleged this thing. Yes. I knew that the official residence of the vice president was awarded under Jonathan administration.
Okay.
And you know the way government this thing is, Jonathan came, the Buhari administration came, and that project was abandoned. Variation upon variation, something that was started from around 6 billion or 3 billion thereabout. Variation made it, the national inflation has gone up from 3 billion to 9 billion, down to when the Tinubu administration came, the Minister of FCT said, no, this kind of project cannot be, we cannot afford to allow them lying down, fallow, uncompleted, and all those things. It's one of his projects that he picked up to make Abuja greater, right? So His Excellency FCT Minister Yeson Wike came up and gave Julius Berger the marching order to complete the building. Right? Now, the building that was abandoned at halfway, because he wanted to achieve that he does not want to give instruction and they will give it halfway, they give accelerated construction, right? But so it was commission. Commission does not mean it's 100% completed. So as a sitting vice president, that is to occupy that this thing, is his health and his life that they are talking about. So he has the right to say, okay, no, this certain standard, these certain things that are here have to be fine-tuned, have to be this. That is what he raised, that the house has not been fully completed. You can't say that you move into an uncompleted building, and political media people, we were in Nigeria here, where a newspaper give a very damaging headline, only for you to read the body of this thing is a wide difference from
what the
headline said. So saying that, okay, no, some certain things has to be put in place to befit the residence of the vice president. It was now said that there is a communication. What is communication? This thing that, what is the vice president hiding that he does not want anybody to hear? And by the way, what do they want to hear that they will want the vice president? So these are certain information questions that should be asked when something like this come out into the fore. You understand? Nigerians, we are very good people, no doubt, across the globe. Anywhere you see Nigerians in every profession, we are professional. But sometimes we need to check some of the information that we put out. Fake news, incompleted information, and biased information, or information being turned upside down just to meet personal interest is one of those things that challenges us.
Thank you very much, sir. So something happened recently. I don't know if you watched Ray's video. That's the NYSC girl, if I got the name correctly. Ray, talk to Ray something. The NYSC lady that raised a complaint, that started the 30 days rant challenge, and she complained about the payment NYSC corpers receives. So I give her the award, because they were paid recently and they were paid 77,000 naira. That's 7,000 naira. So I really give her that award, that she has changed, at least she has changed something in the country. So coming down to her own safety, she raised alarm recently that she's no longer safe just because of she's speaking out. What would you have to say about that? Okay, now anybody is you have the right to say you want to give an award. I will also give her an award of impatient. Oh, so you feel she was impatient? In terms of the 77,000 naira that you said you are giving her award that she has achieved something. No, she didn't achieve anything. She only have impatient towards that. Everybody knew that there is a process in government. But why was it that it was when she said no. It's not when she said it. Oh, okay. Right? Government has said that they are going to pay NYSC 77,000 naira. That has been the same way that the minimum wage was passed and it was not implemented, because they have to calculate the consequential adjustment. They have to consider budgeting. They have to consider all manners of. When was budget for 2025 passed? When was it signed?
just the beginning of, the end of February.
That was recently. Yeah.
That was recently. And if budget is not passed, you cannot spend the money. The president does not want to go to jail because NYSC, one NYSC person is saying something.
But was it not the same time that the minimum wage, increasement of the minimum wage?
It was passed all together.
Yes,
and the processes was ongoing. The president has given his presidential approval.
That is what I'm coming to. Why is it that it was when this lady spoke that they implemented the NYSC?
I encourage young people in Nigeria, I myself, so that I won't be here as if I am defending government. I'm not a mouthpiece of the government. I've had my own reason of speaking against government severally, right? But in this one, the president gave approval for minimum wage, including pension. Then that he gave approval does not mean the next day the money start flying out. Processes will have to be followed. That is why we are calling on the same president to look into the bureaucratic process of Nigeria. The civil servant, ordinary Ahmed will say they are evil servants. Because you see a file that's supposed to have within 48 hours move and conclusion and implemented will take 3 months just because this file get to the table of a director. The director has not been coming to work for the past 2 weeks. This file come to the table of the chief, either principal officer or assistant chief or chief this admin officer, and that person has not come to work for the past 1 week. So that file is lying down there and nobody is punished, nobody is reprimanded, nobody is called out, being queried. So you now see that at the end of the day, the president is being called out, right? But you see, until we put up policies that will hasten that, there are some people in government today that came from private sector background, people that came from the banking sector, and it will take them aback. Wait, file that a minister or PAMSEC, for instance, has minuted to a director, admin, or HR for the past 5 days is still on the table of the director HR. Director HR, where have you been? I went to one training here. I went to this. I've not been feeling fine. I've not. So then, by the time the director HR comes, over 300 files are on his table, and today he is treated like 20 or 30 files. Work has closed. He has gone home. So before this file that has been waiting for him for the past 1 month get to another director in account or budget and all those things, it would have taken another 6 months. The presidential approval has not even come out from one ministry. Before he gets to Ministry of Finance, before he gets to Accountant General, before he gets to Salary and Wages Commission, where they will now plot the salary, what each person is meant to collect and all those things, or those people that are collecting flat, or the number of people that are collecting, all those things must be known and well documented. It's not that a private, even as a private company, you don't just wake up and carry money in your pocket and start paying your staff. Hey, your name is what? What level are you? Take your salary. No. So all those things are the reason why policies of government that are supposed to take 2 months and is effectively implemented will take another 7, 8 months, sometimes 1 year, because one person is not even happy. Maybe he objected to it and they override his objection. Now that is his turn for him to put his signature. I will tell you a story of a ministry. I won't mention the ministry. A principal account officer had a beef with a permanent secretary, and they were to travel. And the fund for the journey, he is to sign for it to get to bank for the money to be remitted. And they said the principal account officer went to eat. And PAMSEC said, for what? Bring the file for me and sign. And all of them fly out, waiting for the money to be paid for their hotel, for other services. So by the time the money got to the file got to the bank, they say, no, sorry, this signature. They say, it's PAMSEC that signed. No, PAMSEC is not supposed to sign. He is the permanent secretary, but he is not his duty to sign. The principal account officer went to eat. For 2 days, he has not come here. He went to eat. So you now see that the whole delegation was stranded. It took Dangote to run into them. I said, Pamsec, I said, what are you people? What is going on? They said, this is their situation. Dangote now to pay for government delegation to enter hotel room and other services that they were to do. Now you see where the effectiveness in the bureaucratic system, because the principal account officer that's supposed to sign that thing did not sign because he went to eat. You see now where the delay comes from, and the young lady is shouting, and you now think that, oh, it's because she shouted, then all of a sudden the thing was now the president now give approval. No, everybody knew that the president has given his approval for NYSC to collect 77,000 for more than a year now, but is the ineffectiveness in the bureaucratic process in the civil service that held the thing down. Now on the part of the copper, you see, I am one of the person that know that as a citizen you have the right to speak against the policies and program of government of your country, especially that you have the responsibility of carrying out your civic duty of voting, either for or against. Who you voted for or against is inconsequential because you have the responsibility. You can call the attention of government to their policy and program. You understand? Then how you call also matter. Well, I have children in my home. I also have parents. There are times that is because they are my parents does not mean what they are doing is 100% right. But that I have the right to call my father's attention to some of the things that he is doing does not mean that you come out and abuse my father because he is doing something wrong. You see, there is different. And you know, like somebody will say, where your right stop, that's where another person's right start. Is that not so?
Yes.
That if I come out and say, President, I've been on TV and I said, I am one of the people that voted for you, Mr. President. This policy is anti-people. I didn't say he is a fool, he's irresponsible, he's irrepressible. Oh man, I don't need to call him name to call his attention to how I am feeling about his policies. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I understand.
So now, and also don't forget the way we play politics in this part of the world. Some people just wanted to say, prove to the president that, yes, I am one of the people that dealt with the person that abused you. Is it necessary? While going after the young girl that he called the president, has the president come out to say, this person that abused me, and the president has even said to us across Nigeria severally that he practiced advanced forgiveness, that he know that people have been abusing him.
Yes.
That even because of that one, he doesn't go to social media. That they will abuse him, but he doesn't even care. So why go after the young girl because he says something? So I don't see why that you go after his life.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to the Issues and Society podcast. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Okay, guys, before we leave, we would want to congratulate CP Olubode Olajuni on his promotion as the Commissioner of Police. Congratulations, sir, on your promotion. All right, guys, thank you for staying with us today on Issues and Society podcast. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media platforms on Issues and Society podcast, on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys so much. I love you. Bye.